Ugonma and the Mermaid's Curse. In the sun-baked village of Umudim, life was hard for the poor, but for Ugonma, it was almost unbearable. She was an orphan, left with no inheritance, no family, and no protection. But the villagers did not pity her. They mocked her. Ugonma was big-bodied, round-faced, and heavy. Children sang songs comparing her to a yam barn. Women whispered insults as she passed. Men laughed behind her back. No one wanted her at their gatherings. She was made to walk like a beast of burden, pounding yam for hours, fetching firewood from the far forest, washing clothes by the stream until her hands blistered. For payment, she received scraps of food or leftover soup. At night, she lay in a leaking mud hut, her stomach aching with hunger, tears soaking her mat. She whispered into the darkness, "Why, Chukwu Okike? Why did you make me this way? If you won't change my life and make me beautiful, then take me from this earth." Every morning before the rooster crowed, she ran along the dusty path and lifted heavy stones, trying to slim down. She refused to eat for days at a time, but the fat clung to her like a curse. One blistering afternoon, Ugonma went to a Demili river to fetch water. The river's silver ripples danced under the sun. Laughter floated in the air. A group of beautiful young women were swimming and playing in the shallows. They were the pride of Umudim, slender, graceful, and admired by all. When they saw Ugonma approaching with her calabash, their laughter turned sharp. "Ugonma, do you think the fish will survive seeing you? Careful, the river might overflow if you step in." They circled her like vultures. One, a tall girl with beaded braids, smirked. "Let's see if she can even float." Before Ugonma could step back, they pushed her hard into the deep water. The river closed over her head. Panic tore through her chest. She kicked wildly, her lungs burning. Her mind screamed. She thrashed and fought for breath, coughing and swallowing bitter gulps of water. Somehow, her hands found the muddy bank, and she dragged herself out, gasping, coughing river water, weak, shivering, and humiliated. The girls had already walked away, laughing. Dripping wet, heart pounding, Ugonma turned toward the shimmering water. Her voice trembled, but grew louder with each word. "Spirits of the river, do you see me? Do you hear my cry? If you are gods, then prove yourselves. Help me. Change my life. If you change my life, I promise to serve you forever," she cried with a loud voice. The words of Ugonma echoed across the water. For a moment, all was still. Then the river began to move, slowly at first, then faster, swirling like a spinning pot. The wind rose, whistling through the palm trees. Clouds gathered, casting the river in shadow. The waters swelled into a towering spiral, and from its heart emerged a mermaid, her upper body glistening with silver scales, her hair streaming like black silk, eyes glowing with ancient power. "Ugonma," the mermaid's voice was deep and sweet, carrying both promise and warning. "I have heard your cry. I can give you beauty beyond imagination, a body men will fight to touch, wealth enough to silence your mockers. But you must swear you will never fall in love. Break this oath, and the river will claim you." Desperate, Ugonma swore. The mermaid pressed a cool hand to her forehead. A strange warmth spread through her body. Her heavy frame melted into graceful curves. Her skin became smooth and glowing. Her hair longer and fuller than palm fronds in the rainy season. When she returned to the village, jaws dropped. The same women who mocked her now begged to share her secrets. The men, once cruel, now lined up with gifts. Even the village chief invited her to feast. She wore fine wrappers, beads that caught the sunlight, and gold anklets that jingled with each step. Ugonma finally tasted the life she had prayed for. But beauty draws more than admiration. It draws danger. One market day, Ugonma saw Obiajulu, the young hunter. He was tall, strong, with eyes that seemed to look past her beauty into her soul. Unlike the others, he didn't stumble over his words or throw flattery like coins. He simply greeted her and went on his way. Curiosity drew her to him, like a cat with 7 lives. Soon, they began meeting in secret by the riverbank, where wildflowers bloomed in tangled hues under the palm grove swaying to the whispers of the wind. He told her of his hunts deep in the forest's heart, of the secrets only animals knew, and she opened up to him, telling him the secret of her beauty. The wild bargain struck with the mermaid of Idimili River, the covenant made in desperation and darkness and glowing waters. She spoke of the mermaid's warning, of the river's claim if she broke her vow. Her fear of losing what she had was evident, like a thread pulled tight in a loom of tension. But it was too late. Her heart had begun to betray her like a traitor in night's shadows. She loved him, Obiajulu, the hunter with eyes like calm pools reflecting forest depths. She loved him with a force like the river's own current, unstoppable and wild. On the night of the full moon, Ugonma awoke to the sound of rushing water. She stepped outside and froze. The mermaid was there, her hair floating in the air as if she still swam in the river's depths. You have broken your vow. The mermaid's voice rolled like thunder. At the next moonrise, you will return to the river forever. Ugonma fell to her knees, begging for mercy, but the mermaid vanished into the mist. At the next moonrise, Ugonma was pulled into the sea with tears in her eyes, a heartbreaking goodbye to Obiajulu. But Obiajulu refused to lose her. My love for you, Ugonma, knows no boundaries, he vowed, his voice like stone. Even if you go to hell, I will follow you. With a hunter's heart burning with courage, Obiajulu journeyed into the sacred forest, seeking Eze Nwanyi, the most feared deity of the land. Her hut loomed before him, surrounded by skulls and wreathed in smoke from burning herbs. Obiajulu reached his shrine deep in the sacred forest. The air was thick with the smell of burning herbs. Skulls adorned the entrance like silent guards. Ezenwani emerged from the shadows, her presence like a cold wind. With a determined heart, Obiajulu told Ezenwani of his mission to save his lover, Ugonma, and how she was taken by the mermaid. To save her, the deity said, you must travel to where the sea swallows the sun. There lies a golden conch, the mermaid's lost amulet. Bring it to her, and she may release your lover. But beware, the path is guarded by spirits that hunger for flesh. Then she reached into the darkness and produced a glowing moonstone. This moonstone, she said, has the power to summon the mermaid. It carries the mermaid's own tune. Ezenwani performed a ritual around Obiajulu. Her hands wove patterns in the air as she chanted words in a language like night whispers. This ritual gives you protection and power, she said. As a mortal, you will brave the sea's depths to find Ugonma. The moonstone will guide you. With a nod, Ezenwani vanished into shadows, leaving Obiajulu with the glowing moonstone clutched tight in his hand. Obiajulu set out before dawn. He crossed the whispering forest where trees bent low to murmur lies into his ears. He climbed the mountain of echoes, where each wrong step summoned stone lions with burning eyes. He swam through a lagoon of black water where a giant python circled him 3 times before letting him pass. The journey had taken every drop of Obiajulu's courage. Armed with the ritual of protection and the strength of the spirits, he reached the roaring shoreline where the sea and land battled in endless waves. Without hesitation, he dove into the dark, icy depths. The ocean swallowed him whole, shadows swirling like ancient memories. Guided by the pull of fate, he found it, the mermaid's lost treasure, glowing like a captured piece of the sun. Rising from the waves, he stood where moonlight kissed the shore. In his palm burned the moonstone given to him by Eze Nwanye, a stone said to carry the very voice of the mermaid. Obiajulu lifted it high and called into the night, "Comfort, keeper of the river's heart." The waters exploded upward. From the furious torrent emerged the mermaid in her full wrath, hair wild as storm clouds, eyes blazing with the fury of the tides. Obiajulu's voice was steady. "Take what is yours and give me what is mine." The mermaid's eyes narrowed. She raised her hand to strike, but then she saw the treasure. Her rage faltered. The tempest in her face softened, shifting to the pale glow of a white, gentle mermaid. She floated closer, her voice now calm as still water. "What is it you desire, mortal?" Obiajulu answered without hesitation. "The love of my life, Ugonma." A faint smile curved her lips. "Very well. You have shown courage, worthy of the river's respect. Take her. But remember, beauty is a river itself. It flows, it changes, and it fades with time." The waves parted. From the mist stepped Ugonma, whole, alive, and radiant. Obiajulu gathered her into his arms. Without looking back, they turned from the shore, walking toward the dawn. Behind them, the sea swallowed its queen once more. She vanished into the depths. Ugonma was free. She and Obiajulu married, their love stronger for the trials they had faced. They had children and grew old together. Yet on nights when the moon was full, Ugoma would stand by the river, feeling the pull of the water, hearing faint whispers in the current, a reminder that the river never forgets. The end.